You know, we've watched the Occupy Wall Street crowd demand an amendment to the Constitution to specify that corporations are not persons, and we've heard nothing from Republicans in the form of any kind of legislation to restore the unalienable speech and press rights that our Constitution enumerated for all of us. I'm one of those people that wants to make a demand from the right. Let's shut down the Federal Election Commission and repeal the federal election laws that pretend there's a difference between the rights of flesh and blood persons, you and me, and the newspapers and broadcast stations, which are legal persons and exempted from the election laws. Now that kind of blows a hole in the arguments by the Occupy Wall Street crowd, doesn't it? They don't want their group or their supporters to understand what I just said to you. Because it was the campaign finance laws following Watergate that defined newspapers and broadcasters as legal persons and literally transferred the only unrestricted free speech and press rights to them while restricting the rights of every living person and political party and organization in this country. Even foreign-owned newspapers and broadcast stations are exempt from U.S. election laws. Specifically, they're exempt from the definition of contribution and expenditure, which allows them to raise and spend an unlimited amount of their stockholders' money influencing our political opinions. And if you've noticed, they often decide who's worthy of appearing in the debates and what issues will be discussed during our campaigns. Is it surprising that people are dissatisfied with the political process? We're the only ones that are left out without a free voice to influence it. Between the political parties, the major media, and we've been left out of the mix entirely. Now, what we need to do is regain our unrestricted free speech and press rights. That's one thing the Occupy Wall Street crowd stated properly. These rights were enumerated for flesh and blood people. Now, I don't think we need to eliminate corporations as enjoying rights like newspapers and broadcast stations, but their rights should not be superior to ours, and certainly no foreign-owned newspaper or cable network should enjoy more freedom to raise and spend money influencing the political process than American citizens. Now, there's an easy and inexpensive solution to this. Since they stole our rights from us without asking for our approval or consent, none of the media or the politicians told us that in order to have campaign finance laws, that our rights would have to be restricted while theirs were exempted. In fact, lobbyists for the nation's largest newspaper and broadcast stations met secretly with Congress to work out these exemptions before they began promoting the laws that will restrict the rights of their readers, viewers, and listeners. They didn't bother to tell us that we were going to lose our rights. So they are a special interest. They were part of a conspiracy to replace a free press with a state-approved press for every living person and allow only the newspapers and broadcasters to enjoy the guaranteed free press that we're all supposed to have. Now, I hope that made sense to you, because paper and ink have always had a price, and a newspaper is not the definition of a free press. It's a product of a free press. And the freedom of the press meant the right to use a printing press, technology, just like we use the web, email, and blogging today. People wouldn't stand still for those being restricted. So why they allow these ridiculous campaign finance laws to restrict rights that were enumerated for us in our Constitution? Let's contact our House members and our senators and make something clear to them. If you expect to be reelected in your next election, you're going to amend the press exemption to include every citizen and group of citizens in this country who pool money to communicate their political ideas and opinions. The laws can stay on the book, but there'll no longer be any victims called the regulated classes. That's you and me. Please seriously consider these ideas, because we can restore America if we regain our voice. And thanks for your time.